Hello, people. Welcome back to the OCM Botcast. I am your host, Chad Marco. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I know I am. Give me a second here. Damn. Oh, man. I made the mistake of eating some chips and ginger ale before I did this, and it's a miracle I managed to put that bag down. Hold up, what are these shit called? Fritos. Okay, the Fritos flavor twist honey barbecue. I think those are my favorite chips. Whenever I open a bag of that shit, it's so hard for me to put it down. God damn. I was supposed to eat like 3 chips before I got started. I sat there and just said, hold up. Let me eat this for about 3 minutes. Oh boy, but let's get right into the program, shall we? First off, I want to pay my respects to 2 legends who have recently passed away. First, marvelous Marvin Hagler. If you guys don't know, marvelous Marvin Hagler, he was a middleweight champion in boxing. I mean, this guy was just an absolute beast. He embodied the spirit of hard work, determination, iron will, and just that blue collar grit, man. I could only pray to have a work ethic like that, man. But I'm glad that, because over the past couple of years, I've gotten into watching like various boxing matches, and I've gone back to as far back as like the 60s, and the Floyd Patterson, Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier era, up into the 70s and 80s with Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, Wilfred Benitez. And I swear that era, that 80s era, the Four Kings era with Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns, and Roberto Duran. I mean, it's a beautiful time in boxing. But man, Marvin Hagler, he passed away. And also hip hop legend, rap god, DMX, he also recently passed away. I'm actually talking about his death more on the next episode of the Night Walk vlog, so I'm not gonna say too much about that now. But just rest in peace to those 2, man. Just 2 absolute legends who are now gone from the world. But how are you guys doing? How has your couple of weeks been since the last episode of the Botcast? I just dropped a new song called Hideki. I was just playing around in FL Studio, working on the beat, and I was like, damn, this beat is demonic as fuck. I gotta say some dark, edgy shit to that. So I just started writing like some dark, demonic, depths of hell bars. Oh man. And the whole time I was just thinking about this movie called Evil Dead Trap, which is like this Japanese low budget B horror film, and it's actually pretty good for a bad horror movie. Hold on, let me adjust the mic just a little bit. It's hanging a little low. Give me 1 second here. Guard your ears, please. All right, that ought to be better. But yeah, and I was just channeling the energy of that movie the whole time I was writing. But just drop a little something for the people. And that's probably going to be a song that I put on the Sickness mixtape, which is just going to be a compilation of all the songs that I've been putting out recently. Then after that, just another project I want to finish, and then I'll move into doing Robot Music 9003. So you guys got that to look forward to. Other than that, not much going on with me. Oh yeah, and I just bought a video camera. Now, nothing fancy, so don't get your hopes up. But I got a little cheap video camera finally. And so with that, I'll finally be able to start doing music videos. And I thought about maybe saving up for a higher end camera. But I was watching this video where the guy was explaining, he was talking about just how to film music videos, just giving out general tips. And he mentioned that starting out, he didn't have the best equipment either. He had like this handheld, like Sony video camera that I think he got from his mom or something like that. And that's where he got his start. And over the years, he upgraded to, of course, big boy cameras. But the point he was trying to make was that, you can learn a lot even with lesser equipment. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because even with my rap music, even with my music, I don't have the best equipment in the world, but I've done so much just with that. And then moving into the future, as I upgrade, it's only going to get better and better. But so the same philosophy should apply to making videos. So, I'm not going to worry about buying the best camera ever. So I just got something simple so I could go ahead and get my feet wet as far as like creating music videos and whatnot. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait. It's going to be here Monday. And so I'll probably play around with it a little bit first. But I'm hoping I can probably shoot like my first like simple video by the end of the month or something like that. So I'm going to pick out a song and just, something simple, just try to, get my feet wet there in that area. And also, oh yeah, didn't even talk about this, but this episode is called SoundCloud and Chill. So the format is going to be a little bit different. Normally I kind of sprinkle OC here and there throughout the segments, but this time, because this is the OCM Botcast, and I'm going to do this more regularly moving into the future. But this time I have basically I'm going to take like 5 to 10 different pieces of original content, specifically music, and we're going to listen to it, and I'm going to critique it and rate it. And yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to do today. So it's not going to be, this episode shouldn't be too long or too complicated. We're just going to highlight some of the original content that I found on 4chan, specifically the music. And I think probably in the future, even try to incorporate some of the artwork that I find in those threads too, because we got some good artists there too, not just in terms of music, but also drawings. I want to find a way to incorporate their work into the podcast as well. So yeah, and then of course we got the normal stuff like the news and, thread of the day, comments. Let me sip. So yeah. Also, make sure you guys like the video, and I always appreciate it when you comment, because then we can have some back and forth, and I might feature you in the comment portion of the podcast in the future. And if you're new here and you like what you see, subscribe, because there's more awesome things to come. So let's get right to it, shall we? So you guys know, first off, we got the news. Okay, so unfortunately, I'm sure you guys already know what I'm going to talk about, but unfortunately, there have been several mass shootings in a very short period of time, and I want to just pretty much the news is going to be about these shootings. So the first one I'm going to talk about is that Friender, you are so rude. He did like this long dog sigh. Okay, so the first one I'm going to talk about is the Asian massage parlor shootings. Okay, so there were about 8 to 9 people killed at multiple massage parlors in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, most of these people were Asian women. I think there was like a Latino guy and some white lady who got killed too, who just happened to be there. But most of the people that were killed were Asian. And this attack was perpetrated by a young man. He was 21 years old, and his name was Robert Aaron Long. So when this first happened, immediately people thought that this was like racially motivated, because recently there's been like these there's been a lot of heat shall we say, and negativity directed towards the Asian community. And I don't know if this is because of COVID. You know, when the whole COVID thing was going on and Donald Trump was in office, he called it the China virus. And, you know, and because the virus originated in China, I'm assuming that a lot of people are kind of looking at Chinese people a little bit differently now. Like, you guys, you were the people. It was your race. You ate those bats. It's your fault. I'm just assuming because I don't know how true this is, but there does seem to be like these news reports about increased violence and discrimination or something against Asian people. I haven't looked too much into that. But if I had to guess, I would say that COVID has something to do with this sudden spike in Asian hate. But I'm gonna look more into that just to see how legit that actually is. But, you know, because this is a white guy, killing a bunch of Asian people, immediately, you know, people went to the whole race thing. But I got a quote here, and it says from an article, says Long told police that Tuesday's attack was not racially motivated. He claimed to have a sex addiction, and authorities said he apparently lashed out at what he saw as sources of temptation. But those statements spurred outrage and widespread skepticism given the locations and that 6 of the 8 victims were women of Asian descent. So from what's said here, it seems like from what he says, it wasn't a race thing. God damn, this fucking idiot. I don't even care what his reasoning was. Like, you fucking killed 8 innocent people. Fuck you. But it is interesting to dive into the minds of criminals who commit such heinous acts. So I digress. But he said it's not a race thing. You know, says he has like a sex addiction or something like that. And I remember reading another article that said he had been going to some sort of like program that tried to help people. It's like some type of like Christian program that tried to help people with like sex addiction, pornography addiction, even had like some gay conversion therapy shit. So it's like one of those things, you know. And so he was going there to get help. So it seems like he is he must have some sort of strong ties to religion. To you know, the fact that he went to that kind of a program to sort of seek help for his quote unquote sex addiction. I'm assuming that this guy is like heavily religious and was probably torn up on the inside regarding his desires for the flesh conflicting with, you know, his beliefs that he shouldn't be doing these things. He shouldn't be going to Asian massage parlors and getting jacked off by 40-year-old Asian women. I would never go there, by the way, because I hear stories like when you go there thinking you're going to get like a young 20-year-old Asian chick who's cute, and you end up getting like the fucking aunt. You get the 38-year-old aunt or something, and she gives you like a rough hand job. That's what I've heard. I've heard these places are kind of inconsistent as far as like the quality of girls that you get. But we all know the point of going there is to, you know, receive sexual attention. You go there to engage with light sex acts with Asian women. But for the most part, I've heard like it's mostly like hand jobs, blow jobs. I don't know if there's fucking, maybe if you pay more. It's amazing that they get away with this now that I think about it, because it's really just done out in the open. But I guess it's because you can't really, they probably have it set up to where it'd be hard to convict them or to, you know, because you go in there and it's like, okay, you're already massaging my thighs, why not move up and massage my dick? I mean, look, what constitutes as a massage or not? Can you not massage my dick? Is that against the law? Why can't she massage my dick? I don't know. I gotta look more. This shit is interesting as fuck. Goddamn, I got a friend. I think from what I hope I'm telling the story right, but after he broke up with his girlfriend, I think his brother took him to an Asian massage parlor. I need to ask him more about that. I really didn't dig as deep as I should have regarding that story of his. But yeah, it seems like his issue was, he was addicted to sex, but still, it's like what, dude? All right, you're a Christian, you believe in God, and fornication is a sin, you're going to hell. You think killing 8 people is going to make it better? I get his inner conflict, but the solution is just ridiculous. It's like, okay, I spilled milk, so let me just burn down the house. It's like, you know, it's like I got a toothache. Let me just get a shotgun and blow my brains out. God damn, man. My car ran out of gas. Fuck the car, fuck it, just flip it over. Over the ravine. It's that level of stupid. It's ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't get some of this shit, man. But I guess that's the difference between me and someone that's willing to kill 8 people for damn near no reason. But so here's something else from I think the same article. So it says the attack was the 6th mass killing this year in the U.S. and the deadliest since the August 2019 Dayton, Ohio shooting that left 9 people dead. According to a database compiled by the Associated Press, USA Today, and Northern Eastern University, it follows a lull in mass killings during the pandemic in 2020, which had the smallest number of such attacks in more than a decade. According to the database, which tracks mass killings defined as 4 or more dead, not including the shooter. Okay, so 4 or more, okay. So it's interesting to point out that there weren't a lot of mass shootings during the pandemic. And I remember when the Asian massage parlor shootings happened. It happened like right around the time Biden became president. And I remember seeing like a post on 4chan. Somebody was like, kind of just in a way trying to blame is it a coincidence that right when Biden becomes president, now these mass shootings start up again, and they've just been kind of consistent ever since. Now, I'm not making the claim. I just found it funny that somebody made that connection. Like the second Biden get in the chair, motherfuckers just start shooting shit up again. But what's interesting though about it though is what about the pandemic? Like, what was it about it that seemed to press the pause button on these kind of shootings? Was it the decrease in people gathering in mass and social events and whatnot? Because typically when these mass shootings happen, it's like at public places where you can find a lot of people. But as far as what I know, like even during the pandemic, except during the very height of it, maybe. For the past couple of months, you can find plenty of motherfuckers in Walmart. Everybody got a mask on and shit, but you can still find people. So I don't really understand why the pandemic would have put a halt to it. It won't like we were like quarantined to a ridiculous degree. You can still find people at the store if you really wanted to get it in, get your body count up. I don't know, but so let's move right into the next one. So not long after the Asian massage parlor shootings, there were the Boulder, Colorado shootings. So I believe this happened March 10th. There were 10 people who were killed in a supermarket, and one of which was a police officer. And the perpetrator was 21-year-old Ahmad Al-Alawi Al-Isa. Forgive me for butchering his name. In fact, fuck him and his name. Oh boy. Okay, so this was yet another mass shooting, and it happened in a goddamn supermarket. So he went to this. From what I read, he pulled up to the supermarket and he started shooting like right outside of it. Like he shot a couple people in the parking lot. Then he went inside and then continued his massacre. And during this, I believe this is when the police officer like charged at him or something and he got killed. What a fucking hero. And so this led to like a standoff. I know Frender's not snoring. Frender, hey, wake up. You ain't snoring doing the Botcast, bro. So I think after the police officer got killed, then more police officers arrived at the scene, and they got into like the standoff with Ahmad, and they got into a shootout, and they say it's like screaming and laughing and doing all kind of crazy Joker shit, and they ended up shooting him in the leg, and then he surrendered. It seems like he stripped naked. It seems like he stripped naked and then surrendered, so that they were like, okay, he doesn't have anything under his. Maybe this is what I'm thinking, right? I think he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory until he got shot, until he felt that he was like, oh no, I'm scared to die. Let me take all these clothes off. I surrender. Cause you got to think about it. Most of the time, when these guys, when they commit the mass shooting, they don't take it to the police. They don't start shooting back at the police. They do what they want to do. Then they drop all their weapons and they surrender immediately. This guy actually got into a shootout with the police officer. So I'm thinking that he had this idea, like, I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory. I'm going to kill myself. But I think that bullet brought him back to reality and let him know. Man, I really can't stand shit like this. You know, it's like, goddamn, dude. Bitch ass motherfuckers like this who can't even take a bullet go around just shooting people and don't even understand what they're doing to somebody until it happens to them. Just a straight bitch made motherfucker. Goddamn. But I digress. So he was born in Syria in 1999 and became a naturalized U.S. citizen. Now, this is a quote that I got from Wikipedia. Al-Issa's older brother said that Al-Issa has a history of paranoid, disturbed, and antisocial behavior that developed after Al-Issa was bullied in high school, and his brother was concerned for his mental health. Okay, and so this is another interesting aspect of this, because, you know, whenever these things happen, we always debate, you know, how do we prevent stuff like this from happening? Do we get rid of the guns? Do we give everybody guns, or do we address mental health issues more? Because it seems like most of the people who do stuff like this, they're not exactly mentally balanced. It's rare that you see a mass shooting that's committed by someone like after the fact, they just seem completely like lucid and normal. Like, yep, I did it. I had a normal life. I fucked bitch. Yeah. Like I was getting pussy. I had a job. I had a car. I went to college. I had friends. It's always, not always, but most of the time, it's these guys who live on the outskirts of society. They were the weirdo in school. They were bullied. They weren't getting pussy. Like, it's these kind of guys that end up doing this shit the most, it seems like. And I don't know what effect, or if that's the reasoning, or I mean the solution to the problem, you know, to address mental health more. But that's kind of what I've been thinking. You know, this stuff just keeps happening, and you know, I honestly, bro, I feel like America is just, in a way, it's kind of like a sick fucking place. Like, it's a sick country, man, and mental health problems are really just rampant, you know, and I don't know if addressing that head on is the solution. I don't even know how you would do it. I feel like when you look at just how complicated society is and how many people live in the country, how can you know, like, what can we do to reach someone like him, to reach these guys who feed them? I don't see, you know, maybe it's just something that everybody, you know, as more people wake up and show concern for their family and their friends and the people around them, maybe that's what it takes. You know, maybe if somebody was throwing him some pussy, he wouldn't have did it. I ain't trying to blame women. I'm just saying in general, like, it's, you know, fuck it. A lot of these guys ain't getting pussy. Okay, so of course, whenever stuff like this happens, we start talking about gun control. And I always see this conspiracy that these sort of situations are set up, like they are done intentionally so that the government can create hysteria surrounding guns and gun laws, so that they will eventually be able to completely disarm us and just pretty much throw the Second Amendment into the motherfucking toilet, shit on it, then flush it, bazooka the toilet, all that. And I don't know how true that is. Again, I'm just pointing out the conspiracy. That's something that I always seen, is that a lot of these are just somehow set up, and they just using this because they want to, you know, kind of place much higher limitations on American citizens owning firearms. So this is a quote that I think I grabbed this from Wikipedia. It says, according to the Federal Gun Control Act of 1968, a pistol is designed to be gripped by one hand. A rifle is a weapon designed to be fired from the shoulder, with a single bullet fired for each pull of the trigger, among other criteria. As a result of this, the Ruger AR-556 pistol is designed with a 10.5-inch barrel and is sold with a stabilizing brace as opposed to a stock, which would cause the AR-556 to be classified as a short barrel rifle under the National Firearms Act of 1934, making it legally a pistol even though it is visually and operationally similar to a rifle. So now, I'm no gun expert. I'm just going off of what this right here says. So if any K bros in the comment section, correct me if I'm wrong. But this right here does seem like a valid criticism and something that should be addressed. Look at what they're saying. The barrel is sold with a stabilizing brace as opposed to a stock, making it legally a pistol even though it is visually and operationally similar to a rifle. So it seems like people have found like a loophole to own guns which operate as rifles but are technically pistols. So it's like a loophole kind of thing. And when you look at, you know, a lot of these mass shootings, it's done with these kind of guns now. But even still, if we're to ban these kind of guns from ownership, general ownership by American citizens, I always think back to the Virginia Tech shootings. Now, it's been a while since I looked into this, but from what I remember, he had 2 damn Glocks. 2 Glocks or 2 pistols, whatever. And he got like, what, 20 something motherfuckers? He went the fuck in with pistols. He ain't had no AR, no bomb, no machine gun. He ain't had no tank. This motherfucker got a grip of people. He killed a lot of motherfuckers with just 2 handguns, bro. From what I remember, he had 2 handguns. He might have had a third in the back pocket or some shit, but he had handguns, dog. He went the fuck in. So whenever I see people bring up the AR pistol thing, it's like, okay, but I just feel like that's not enough. Even that's not enough. Maybe Cho was just the chosen one. Maybe he was just fucking chosen to kill motherfuckers and get a high body count. Maybe maybe he was training his ass off, went to the gun range, all that shit. I don't know, but he did a lot with some handguns. So even if they were to, you know, limit or ban ARs or whatever, that I don't think that's really enough. And I have no clue what should be done. And this is gonna sound dark and fucked up, but there was a thread where people were talking about, you know, what can we do to prevent this? And the best idea that I saw was bring back cruel and unusual punishment. Now, I was like, yo, that made sense. And you got to think about it, dude, because a lot of these guys, like, they pussies, they bitch made. They not about to really do nothing. They ain't trying to feel no pain. You know, when you know, okay, I don't give a fuck about my life and I'll sit in prison for life or even blow my brains out. When you know that you're just going to get caught and then be in protective custody for the rest of your life and all that. You know, that's bad to us, but maybe it's not bad enough for the people who are actually willing to do this shit. Look, maybe you guys seen Berserk. You know, when Griffith fucked the king's daughter and he put him in that torture chamber. I'm thinking we might need that. We might need that specifically for mass shootings. It sounds awful, but honestly, fuck them. I don't give a fuck about them. My only concern would be someone being wrongfully accused and then tortured forever, like Griffith was. But it may sound silly, but again, people are pussy as fuck. If they know, oh, if I kill a bunch of people, if I get labeled as a mass shooting culprit and found guilty, I'm going to get the Griffith treatment. I'm going to a medieval torture chamber where a fucking like a bunch of fucking sadist retards are gonna be pilling with LSD and then have my fucking toes burned off. I'm gonna have every bone in my body broken. I'll be beaten, fucked in the ass with a spiked dildo. Who's gonna do this shit? It sounds silly, but think about it. Who the fuck is gonna sign up for that? If anything, you would do it and make sure you killed yourself. But there was another interesting aspect to this too, though. And the whole race thing, right? Because with the previous shooting, the Asian massage parlor shootings, it was like, this is Asian hate, blah, blah, blah. But with this one, people pointed out, hey, why aren't you guys pointing out that this is a man of Middle Eastern ethnicity who specifically targeted white people? Why aren't you guys bringing that up? If it's a white guy killing a bunch of blacks or Asians or Mexicans, instantly it's a race issue. But if it's a Muslim person, I mean, we'll call them Middle Eastern. I'm sure that's the right term. We're gonna go with that because not all Middle Easterns are Muslims. So yeah, okay. So, but if it's a Middle Eastern person or a black person or Asian person killing primarily white people, it's never labeled as a race thing. It's just like, oh, he killed a bunch of motherfuckers. And even from the beginning, like just based off of his appearance, a lot of people assumed that he was white. Like he was labeled as white during the initial reports until they found out, oh wait, he's not white. And I can kind of see why you would make that assumption based off of his look. When I first saw, like the first picture I saw of him, I'm like, this crazy white motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie, but then you look at some more pictures, you can see, oh, okay, he's not white. He's one of them brown guys. I ain't look, I ain't trying to be funny here, but sometimes you can't even tell what a motherfucker is these days. Everything mixed up. You got the black, half Mexican, 1/3 Asian with 2/3 white. All kind of combinations of people. Sometimes you can't even look at people and know exactly what they are. So we'll call them brown. Anybody that's brown and you can't exactly pinpoint what they are. But yeah, and I'm not gonna talk too much about this one, but there was another mass shooting that recently happened. He just hit the exact number to be classified as a mass killing, which is 4 or more dead. There was an NFL player. I forgot his name. I'm not gonna go too far into this. I ain't really super research this or nothing, but it was an NFL player. I think a former NFL player, and he murdered this doctor, the doctor's wife, and 2 of their grandkids. And then he killed himself. So this would also be classified as a mass murder. It was a black guy killing 4 white people. And of course, no one's going to bring race into this. They're not going to say this was a hate crime and all that shit. But I don't even think that was it though. When just looking at it, because we all know about CTE and what it can do to the mind, how it's driven a lot of football players crazy and they just do wild shit. Well, this is beyond wild, but when I first read this story, because again, it's a former NFL player killing his doctor and some of the doctor's family members. This is my assumption based off of the limited information that has come out thus far. I'm thinking that he was suffering from CTE and he was losing his goddamn mind, and out of frustration with his doctor, he murdered him, and some of his family members went home and then killed himself. That's my assumption. I could be totally wrong, but that's looking at the story and what other people are saying, other news outlets. Most of them are CTE is instantly what's coming up, brain damage. And the fact that he killed his doctor, the person that as a person suffering from brain damage and CTE, your doctor is the person that you would confide in, and you're confiding in him and you're seeking his guidance and his assistance, and he can't do anything for you because it's really not a lot you can do for someone who has severe brain damage. And again, this is just my assumption, but I'm assuming that out of frustration, he killed his doctor and the doctor's wife and the 2 grandkids. So it's been a wild early to 2021. But still just not as crazy as last year. I think we still got a ways to go, but yeah, damn. Cause last year Kobe died in a helicopter crash. That just to start the fucking year. Now we got Marvin Hagler and DMX dead. So we got some pretty major celebrity deaths. Now we got these mass shootings. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be hard to outdo 2020, but if these mass shootings keep up, then goddamn. So that's the news for today. And next we will get into some SoundCloud and chill, where we're going to listen to some OC, some music, and I'm going to critique it and rate it. So stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back, and now it's time for some SoundCloud and chill. So some of these are just vocaroos that I found in a creative thread on R9K, so I won't be able to give their creator much credit, but others I actually have their name and name of the song and all that, so bear with me. Okay, so we are going to start off with, hold up, give me a second here. Oh, this is, oh no. Oh yeah, we got it. Okay, so this is Anonymous with Unknown One.
Tu me demandes de faire un choix, te prendre avec tes erreurs, ou bien te garder loin de moi. Et je sais pas comment oublier tout ce qu'on a vécu. Souviens-toi, ma main dans ta main, tes yeux dans mes yeux. Ne me laisse pas
Okay, that was Anonymous with Unknown. That's just what I'm going to label if I don't know the name of the person. Okay, so first off, why it seems like we got a lot of people, not a lot, but it's a couple people in the thread who I'm not gonna say they don't speak English, but English might not be their native language because he wasn't talking English in this song. Not that it mattered. I listen to like a lot of Japanese music where I don't know what the fuck they're saying. You know, to me, I'm about beats and vibes, and that song definitely had the beat. It had the vibe, and that guy, he actually had he has a nice voice. The quality of it is fairly mediocre. I feel like if he had maybe some better equipment or knew how to edit his vocals and arrange his tracks, he could really do something awesome with that. So I would give him a 3 out of 5. I give him praise for true and raw talent, but is hindered by a lack of overall quality. So let's move on to the next. Okay, that was Anonymous 2 with Unknown 2. So that was a very nice trap style. I don't know if trap is the word. We'll call it that. Trap style beat. And honestly, one of the better beats that I've heard posted in that thread. Unfortunately, it's such a short beat. I remember, I think the guy who posted it, he said something like he was just like experimenting or something like that, but it's very good. I like how it's like you can never just get a grip on what's happening with that with that beat. It changes up so often. So many different sounds are used, and then it kind of just the way he just mixed and flipped and dipped it is very inspirational for, a low a low tier beat maker like myself. I like that because sometimes my beats can be kind of repetitive, and so what I like about this one is just the way he mixed it and just had different sounds and schemes within such a short period of time for a beat. That's actually really impressive. Unfortunately, it's goddamn short. I give that a resounding 4 out of 5. It gets praises for top quality beat shit, but gotta lose a point for shortness. Okay, so let's move on to the next one.
You're a bunch of sick fucks. Suggest removing a little girl's clothes and licking her tiny body all over. Only a heartless monster would think about bunch of sick perverts, thinking of spreading her smooth, slender thighs. While her small body shudders from having her cherry taken in one quick stroke. At how you get even more excited as you lean over her. Listening to her quickening breath, her girlish moans and gasps while you hasten your strokes. Her flat chest shiny with a sheen of fresh sweat, rising and falling rapidly to meet yours. It is truly nasty how you run your hands all over her tiny body while you violate her. Feeling her nipples hardening against your tongue as you lick her chest, her neck, and her armpits. Savoring the scent of her skin and sweat while she trembles from the stimulation. And as she reaches her climax, hearing her cry out softly as she has her first orgasm. Well, that cock is buried impossibly deep inside her, pulsing violently as an intense amount of hot cum spurts forth and floods through her freshly deflowered pussy for the first time, filling her womb only to spill out of her with a sickening splurge. And as you lie atop her flushed body, she murmurs breathlessly, then her fingers dig into your back as she feels your cock hardening inside again.
Wow. Well, that was very interesting. I got a boner now. What is that, lollycore? Oh boy, lollycore. All right, so man, that's an interesting piece of music there. So it's almost like just kind of like rock, like this repetitive rock song in the back as the beat, and then it's just like a girl talking. It seems like she's describing a man having sex with a child. Like, just maybe I gotta listen to it again, but it sounds like some lolicon shit. That's why it made me think that this might be some lollycore or something. But pretty fascinating. I would give that a 2. A 2. Damn. I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5. I give it praise for creativity, but it's really not my cup of tea. Lollycore really isn't my cup of tea. And also, but if the quality was better, as far as like the female vocals doing the talk over in the beat, you might actually have something there. That's actually pretty interesting. So let's do the next one. Okay, so that was Amigenos with Hyphen. All right, so that sounded like another like rock. Please, like white people, forgive me for for calling everything rock. Whenever I hear guitars, like I can't distinguish between bluegrass, alternative, acoustic, everything that's like guitars is rock to me. But I like that. It's got a nice beat. It's some somewhat head banging shit. Like it's the kind of song where I just find myself just head banging, just rocking my head back and forth. Like it's a nice beat, kind of repetitive, but it's solid. It's solid as fuck. I'll give that a 3 out of 5. Friender's having a fucking... Wake up, Friender. You're having a bad dream. Oh, man. But I give it praise for, a nice catchy beat, but take away some points for overall repetitiveness. Okay, so next.
Just back out and get off your face on the weekend. There's a whole angle there, business side of it as well. But that's what we really love doing. We just get off your face on the weekend.
And there we have it. Don't we have some very talented people here on R9K and 4chan? You know, I might have to expand my horizons a little bit though, and start taking some OC from the SoundCloud threads on the music board. I know I'm gonna find some good shit there too as well. So I might expand my horizons a little bit there. But yeah, that was a good. Now that was, I believe you call that drum and bass. That reminds me of the kind of music you would find in like Ridge Racer video games, Wipeout, you know, like racing games and whatnot. But I love me some drum and bass, and that's a solid drum and bass track right there. That guy definitely knows his way around a DAW. I would give that a 3.5 out of 5. You know, he obviously knows what he's doing, and I love me some drum and bass stuff, but it didn't really have like that catch to it, you know? It didn't have that sound or that wave that really caught my ear and stuck. You know, that's what I look for when I listen to drum and bass. One of the best drum and bass songs ever, man. Ridge Racer 4, Move Me. Like, that's what I'm talking about when I say that when it has that it factor. That's what I'm talking about. Check that out if you never heard that before. But yeah, that was a solid drum and bass track. And I hope you guys like our OC expose today. We're going to do this a lot more often, and I'm going to try to, you know, get more songs in. You know, I kind of just, I did this on a budget because I just wanted to get another episode out. And I'm trying to incorporate like visual arts as well and other stuff too into this little segment to kind of make it a little bit longer. And so next we have the thread of the day and then comments. So stay tuned. Wake up, friender. Oh, okay, so wait, where is my shit? Give me a second, guys. I'm only semi-prepared today. Okay, so we have the thread of the day. I found this baby on the B board on 4chan. Got something a little interesting for you guys today. Hold up, if it'll load up. Okay, so this was a thread. This is a big thread too that I found on B, and it's about stealing. So let's dive right into this. So the OP says, for those who have intentionally shoplifted, or stiffed someone before, why did you do it? What was your goal or reason did you do it to prove a point? What was your justification and your philosophical and moral stance and reasoning for what you did or other people stealing or the act of stealing? Did you feel guilty or indifferent? Have other people ever stole anything from you, or have you been owed anything that hasn't been paid back to you even though it should? How did it make you feel, and what did you thought about that person? This guy, he must not be American or English or something, and why they stole from you. You know, one typo, you know, one grammar mistake out, you know, one or two. This motherfucker got like 3, 4. And what do you currently do for a living? And so the first post says, if it's a chain, it's free reign. So now what he's saying is that if it's one of those big corporate mega stores like Walmart, then it doesn't really matter to steal from them. I think it's two ways of looking at that though. I think just because something is like it's a big chain of stores, that doesn't justify stealing from them, right? You know, Like, if I were a millionaire, I wouldn't want people to say, well, he has millions, so I should be justified in robbing him at gunpoint and taking his wallet and getting like $2,000. He doesn't need it. Like, I feel like like that's kind of a similar comparison. But damn, these chains, bruh. These mega chains, these mega stores, bruh. Like Walmart, man. You could spend your whole life stealing from them. Whole life. Have a team. Like a 30-man team, and y'all just go at it. Walmart, that's all y'all do. Y'all make a living stealing from Walmart, and you won't even put a dent in their money. You wouldn't even put a dent in their empire. Like, you'll be doing nothing. So it's like, I think that's the idea of it, is that they have so much that stealing from them just wouldn't even affect them. It's like an ant trying to fight the sun. It's that kind of thing. Then the guy under him says, this also technically includes if you ever use counterfeited money, committed fraud, theft, or services, etc. I think that's the OP as well, just trying to expand upon, this whole idea of what counts as stealing as far as his thread is concerned. So the guy under him says, I actually rather enjoy buying stuff because no matter what else is wrong with me, I can at least pay for the stuff I want instead of stealing like some Negro. Why he had to turn this to a race thing? Not all black people steal. So let's dive further into this thread, right? Okay, so this person says, when I was a stupid teenager, I would steal whenever I went into a Walmart. It's always got to be Walmart, man. Walmart is the number one because my evil corporations, and I wore those pants with all the chains and shit on them with huge pockets. What, the trip pants? I could fit several books and DVDs, games in there. Now I work in a sorting plant for the USPS, and now that I have a job where I actually have to pay taxes, my political views have swung to the right. I look back on my goth phase with embarrassment. That seems to be something that I hear quite often. Like, as people age and get older, they go from being left leaning to right. I definitely wouldn't consider myself like a member of the right. I hate this whole left right shit anyway, but just one example, right? Like, I remember being like, when I was younger, I thought about situations like now it seems like, why was I even thinking this, considering, right? But I was thinking, like, what if I got a girl pregnant? I know, like, how? But look, ride with me here. What if I got a girl pregnant? Would I be okay with her getting an abortion? And when I was younger, I was like, fuck it, kill the damn kid. Fuck them damn kids. But now, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want, if I got a girl pregnant, I wouldn't want her to get an abortion. I wouldn't want that at all. Not saying I want kids. Like, I would do everything in my power to make sure she never got pregnant to begin with. But now I wouldn't want that on my conscience, because I can't really, like, you're killing kids. You're killing the kid, right? But that's just an example of how, as I've gotten older, my views have kind of changed from, left closer to the right. But I'm not adamantly against abortion either. I'm not like, never get an abortion, burn the witches. Like, I'm not there either. I'm just like, I wouldn't do it, but I don't care that other people are doing it. that tends to be the trend for all my beliefs anyway. So this guy says, I steal from Walmart occasionally, but only stupid ass shit like a plastic picture frame that was $40 for no reason. I fuck with Amazon quite a bit and will occasionally return stuff with an empty box. I know it's wrong, but I don't feel immoral. I didn't even know you could do that. But I know one time I ordered something off Amazon, or was it eBay? Damn, now I'm getting it all switched up. And it didn't work. And I let them know, I sent them the message, and I got refunded, but they never said anything about sending it back. So, so I don't know if that was a scheme, but I feel like I was the one wrong there. But it wasn't like I was trying to finesse them or anything like that. But it kind of reminds me of what my friend would do sometimes with Domino's and fast food restaurants. He would call and say, Like he will order something and then say that the order was wrong or they messed something up. And he usually would get like a whole meal free of charge after that. So, that kind of reminds me of like one of those little minor schemes like that. All right. So this guy says, every time I shop, I steal something. I get about 15, is that euros or pounds? We're going to say pounds. Pounds, euros. Damn. I don't want to be looked at like I'm stupid, but I don't know what that's sick. We're going to go with euros because it looked like an E. I would steal about 15 euros of groceries, then steal a pair of sunglasses or gloves or a hat or something I can excuse as an honest mistake if caught. The power went out last week and all the shoppers were asked to leave. In the confusion, I stole a mouth harmonica, a hip flask, a wall-mounted bottle opener, and an electronic weighing spoon. When I was a kid, I steal books and condoms and sell them half price in school. I had one regular locker and one for sports supplies, LOL. I feel like they know shit's gonna be stolen. Knowing I'm being watched is part of the thrill, and it's like they're presenting me a challenge. Wish I was good enough to steal clothes and shoes. So this guy kind of sounds like a bit of a kleptomaniac. I can remember though, I went to the store one time and I forgot, it's been a while. I don't know if the power went out right when I went in there or right after I left. But I know one time I went to the store and it was doing like a county-wide power outage or something. And they made sure they got everybody out of the store and they had people standing by the doors to make sure nobody could get in there. Because, when there's a power outage, it makes it very easy to steal, especially if it's nighttime because it's going to be dark as fuck. The cameras obviously aren't running, and so, yeah, it's basically like, hey, let's steal everything. It didn't wrap put out the store. Okay, so, we got 3 posts here. This guy says, I work at a liquor store and have stolen over $15,000 worth of stock in the last 12 months. And the guy under him says, and what do you do with the stolen liquor? Sell it or keep some for yourself? Then he says, drink it, sell some of it, bring it to parties. Damn. Now, see, a lot of these guys, they're small time. This guy's doing it. Within 12 months, you steal $15,000 worth of stock. That's a lick. That's a lick right there, bro. I mean, you don't see, but that's actually pretty good. But I don't know exactly how he's getting away with it. I'm sure he doesn't own the liquor store, and it's got to be cameras. You would think. I mean, because it's some valuable stuff in those stores. I don't know exactly how he's getting away with that. But goddamn, that's big boy shit. So this guy says, I pirate hella games. LMAO, fuck corporations. The whole piracy thing, is piracy stealing? I'm not gonna fucking what? I'm not gonna tell on myself here. I'm not gonna expose myself here, but this is something to talk about here. Because I know when I used to go on the video game board a lot, this was a common thread you would see where it's like, is piracy stealing and pirates versus buy fags and all that. That was a whole thing. And, my view on it, on like pirating, I mean, it's against the law. It's like you're technically stealing, I guess, but it's just the way in which you're stealing. It's so insignificant to where, like, I think even on a moral level, you just won't even give a fuck. Like, it's not the same. It's just not the same. It's like if somebody came into my house right now and was like they could copy anything that they touch. So they touch my speakers and then I got a copy of your speakers and I'm going home. I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, okay, look, copy me some shit. So it's just the method of the way that it's stolen. that the merchandise is stolen, it kind of trivializes it so much that it's hard to give a fuck about it. Whether you're doing it or watching other people do it, it's hard to give a fuck. And even as an artist, right? Let's say like I drop an album. It honestly wouldn't bother me if people like pirated the fuck out of my album or something like that. Like just honestly speaking, like, cause knowing, well, just knowing how easy it is to pirate shit, like it's one of those things that it's probably just never gonna stop. Piracy is like, it's an inevitability. For the most part, you're never gonna stop people from doing it, as far as I know, unless I feel like it's one of those things where the only way to prevent it, the government would have to become a lot more invasive of people's privacy and monitoring what they do online to put a dent in like music and video game and movie piracy, streaming and all that, because it wouldn't be that hard to catch people if they really put boots on the ground for it. But I just think that it would cause like just how the resources they would have to expend to catch people and having to invade people's privacy as far as like what they're browsing and whatnot, like what they would have to do, I think is just too much effort. And then also another aspect of it that people talk about is that, the fact is most of the people who pirate shit, a lot of the shit that they pirate, they're not going to buy. Like if they couldn't pirate it, they wouldn't buy it. Now, some of it they would, because some people, they just go in, they pirate like every new game, every new movie. And they would buy some of those if they couldn't pirate it. But one thing about pirating shit that I know is that when you have, sometimes you just download mad shit that you would have never bought just to try it out. Like, oh, let me try out this old PlayStation 1 game and emulate it. I would have never bought it, but it looks interesting, so I might as well just get it for free and see what it is. Play it for 10 minutes, delete it. Like, a lot of people do shit like that as well. So I just it's just, again, the method of theft is so, it trivializes it, Okay, so this person says, stealing from the store is nothing. I've seen Indian shopkeepers let women and children steal and say to them, have a nice day, on their way out. And then this guy says they only hate men. They accuse innocent men they don't like of being thieves, even though they've already seen them 1,000 times and never saw them steal anything ever, not even once. They love women and children who steal, though. They let them steal whatever they want. Now, this is interesting because I had an incident, right, where me and my niece, we went to the grocery store. We went to Food Lion, which is like a big grocery store. We bought a few things. We had a bag of stuff, right? Then we go down the street to the corner store, which is like, we call it the Arab store because, it's the Middle Eastern guys, the Muslim guys running the little corner store where they sell blunt wraps and junk food and shit, right? T-shirts, Magnum, condoms, all that kind of bullshit, pickles. And so, bruh, I've been going to that store for years. I've been going to that store since I first started smoking blunts. So probably since I was like 16, 17, like, bro, you talking about 10 years probably about going to that store. Not going there every week, every day type shit, but I would go there, like I've been in there a lot, like plenty for them motherfuckers to recognize me, right? Because whenever I needed blunts, when I was smoking blunts, I had to go there. And then I would go there for like cheap junk food every now and then, whatever, shit like that. So I go in there with my niece and I got my bag of stuff from Food Line. And so my niece, she in there, she went to buy like some cheap candy or whatever. And I'm just looking around. I'm browsing, I'm like squatting, grabbing stuff, just looking at it, looking at the calories on the honey buns and shit, putting it back. And then we about to go, and he says, hey buddy, let me check your bag. And I'm like, what? I said, yo, come on, bro. You know me. You done see me. What? I really could not believe it. It ain't like, it won't like I'll sit there and talk about soccer with the nigga or nothing like that. But damn, like as many times as he seen me, I've never gone in there and fuss his ass out. Like a lot of niggas go in there and do. A lot of niggas go in there with attitudes and shit, rushing and all kind of ghetto, bring all kind of ghetto shit in there. I'm always polite. Always say thank you. And this is the treatment I get. But it's so funny when I read this, it made me think of that. He was like, let me see your bag. And me, I'm like, whatever. I open the bag, I show it to him, like, bro, like I ain't in here stealing no goddamn honey buns. I got a bag full of shit right here. I'm gonna come here and steal honey buns. Oh shit. And then he was like, if I look at the camera and I'm like, whatever, dude. And then I leave, but I've never gone back to that store since. I felt insulted, bro. I was like, cause you accused me of being a thief, and I get it. Look, I'm in there but I'm saying that, bro, as many times as I've been in there, and as many times as I've been in there with a bag, a grocery store bag at that, knowing I came from the store, I walked from the store and came in your store. Like, dude, I took that personally. I took that shit personally, bro. And I made a decision that day. I'm never going in there again. And I've never been in there since. Fuck that nigga, to be honest, bro. Fuck that dude. So this person says, someone blatantly took frozen pizza from the store I work at and said, I gotta eat, bro. Besides having to leave a note for the manager to save my own ass, I'm not even mad. He could apply for food stamps or some shit if he's desperate, but fuck it. I can't be asked to give a shit. Yeah, I get it, man. You working in those stores, you ain't about to tackle no dude for no damn frozen pizza. If I work in the store, I see somebody stealing, I'll do the bare minimum. Like, what, call security if you got that? Call police, yeah, tell the manager. But it's like, I ain't about to be chasing niggas down. Like, bro, if you walk out that door and that alarm go off, I'm gonna look at you and be like, what? I call the cops after. I ain't about to fight this nigga over some damn grocery store bullshit. Goddamn, but that dude must have been hungry. He said, bro, I ain't even about to go in there and steal. I mean, like, not like, like sneaking shit. He said, I'm gonna go in that bitch, grab. Man, look, I hope he grabbed about 10 of them damn things. Like, just, like, damn, like, just walk in and walk out. Like, at least make it worth it, dude. I hope he grabbed a bunch and just said, fuck it, man. Had a damn, like, a briefcase of damn frozen pizzas. I know, my friend, he told me that one time he went in Walmart stealing. He said, I think he went in there with his book bag, and that's strike one. He went in there with his book bag and put the book bag, I think, under the cart. The cart is the top part, and it's a bottom area where you can put other stuff. Normally people put like, soda cartons and shit under there, jugs of water. He put the book bag in that area, I believe. Or maybe he just had it in the cart. I don't remember how he said it. And I think this is when he was living with his girl and they ain't had nothing to eat. So he went in that bitch. He said he was just stealing. He was just putting shit in his book bag and putting shit in the cart. I think, from what I remember, I think he bought some stuff, but he was also putting food in his book bag so him and his girl could eat. So, yeah. And oh, God, I got another story. Man, I know some stealing motherfuckers. I know one time I went in the store, I seen this guy who I seen around town every now and then. We're not exactly friends, but I see him every now and then, say what's up, whatnot. And, we say what's up, dap up in the store. We walk out, this dude reaching his pants, he pull out just the biggest you know how they got like the fucking burger meat, the beef meat, like just the straight pink raw meat. He had like the biggest damn cylinder of that shit, like the biggest roll of meat you could possibly get. He pulled that bitch out of his pants. I said, damn, dude, you stole that shit? He like, yeah, man, like, I gotta eat. Like, I got kids, bro. Like, I'm like, whatever, man. You know, I was like, I feel you. That's how it be sometimes, though, bro. So this guy says, true. Target in particular lets you steal until you have stolen a certain amount of money. That way you get charged for grand theft. Be careful of Target. Now, see, that's some interesting shit. I didn't know that. Oh, excuse me. Target lets you steal until you have stolen a certain amount of money. So, from what that sounds like, they keep track of, like, I'm assuming that the security keeps track of people stealing, but will let you go if you just steal a little bit. But if they notice that you're coming back, like if you're leaving and coming back, they keep tabs on what you steal so that when they finally do bust you, you get a significant charge, grand theft, instead of like petty theft or something like that. Wow. I didn't, dude. That's why I'm glad I looked at this thread. You learn so much interesting shit from threads like these, from people who've had all these different experiences, dude. I never knew this. And I have a family member, she got caught stealing from Target, I believe. And it's like they were stealing clothes and whatnot, and the police followed them, and they ended up coming to like to her house and whatnot, and she got arrested. I remember motherfuckers would I put up like fucking, I think $100 for the bail money or something. I should have never told people I was saving money. That was like years ago though. Oh man, but it was a family member. She got caught stealing from Target. But I just, this post made me wonder, like maybe her and her friends were like stealing from Target regularly, and then they finally decided to pounce on them. You know, maybe it was a one-time thing, but it seemed like this is exactly what happened though, that like this was a regular thing. Like this is just what they did. We go to Target and steal because they don't do shit, not knowing that, you know, they allow you to steal, and then it builds your confidence up. Like, oh, I steal from there all the time, nothing happens, and then you're caught grand theft. Wow. Okay, so this person says, I shoplifted heavily in high school. I had talked with a few people who worked at large chains like Walmart and Target, who basically said if the store was in a white area, that it was always under quota on theft for their insurance, meaning they actually had a net increase from petty theft. They also said that as a result of that, as well as the potential for wrongful detainment lawsuits, they weren't allowed to confront any shoplifters. Only the loss prevention manager was. As a result, me and a friend hit every middle-class retailer in a 50-mile radius for some easy targets and resold them online and at school. Most of our money came from WOW sub cards, which used to come in these boxes at Best Buy. You could tap them once on their side, then slide out the card without any other effort because they weren't secured inside. Just put the empty box on the shelf again and walked out. Stole probably a few grand of those. Got caught stealing from a Kmart that backed up to a lower class community without our knowing. We were fucking about worse than normal that day. Absolutely fascinating. This is some fascinating shit. Wow. So from what he's saying basically is that it's easier to steal from middle class retailers because they're more lax on the security, partially because they have a net increase from petty thief because of I'm assuming they have like insurance on like stealing and whatnot. And so it seems like they're not as they're not as, their security is a little laxed, which allows people to steal because they're not worried about people stealing anyway, because they're in a white, oh God, white. I mean, look, he just keeping it a buck. I hate to say it, but damn, man, because it's white people that steal too. I can't just throw black people under the bus, but damn, like he just calling it how he see it. The white areas were middle class, and so they were more lax with the security because it didn't matter if a few people stole, because it helped them as far as like their insurance quotas and whatnot. But when you go to the poor areas, the black neighborhoods, the security is going to be more on point because so many people are stealing. And so he made a mistake and went to a Kmart that had lowered to that had backed up to a lower class community without knowing and got caught. Oh my God, that is, dude, that is some radical shit, man. Wow. I had no idea like that's how it worked, but it made sense though. It made sense. You know, sometimes I walk around with my backpack, and what I notice is that when you go to the little hood stores, like Rose's, Maxway, like really, I mean, just keeping it a buck, the little black community stores, Dollar General, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree. If I go in there with my book bag, they tell me you can't walk around the store with your book bag. So I know when I walk in there, I immediately go to the cashier and say, hey, can I leave my bag somewhere up front? They say, okay. They take my bag. They leave it somewhere close by the cash register. Even like City Trends, which is like the little hood clothing store, I can't bring my book bag in there. I got to leave it up front. They're really nice about it. It's just that, you know, you can't walk around with a book bag. Excuse me. But when I go to like Walmart and the mall and whatnot, nobody says anything. Nobody says, like the big major chains, they don't say anything. They don't care about you walking around with your book bag. They don't care, probably because one, they probably have better security than the hood stores, one. But also it might be because a lot of these stores tend to be in better neighborhoods. I know I went to a gas station one time, right? And immediately I went to the cashier and I was going to hand him my bag. Like, hey, can you take my bag while I go shop? Can I leave my bag up here? He looked at me with he's like, what? Like, what? I said, can you keep my bag so you don't think I'm stealing? I just said it straight up. And he was like, nah, man, this ain't no little hood store, dude. This is a big chain gas station. We ain't worried about that shit. And so it's interesting how it's the little cheap hood stores are the ones that are most concerned about people going in there stealing, while, you know, the bigger chains in the better neighborhoods, they're not as concerned. So that's some interesting shit right there. So this is the last post. This guy says, stealing from places like Walmart is awesome. You steal a video game, for example, you keep it, you save money. If you sell the game, you make money, and it's likely that the person who buys it from you is saving money too. If I steal a $60 game, I'll sell it for $40. I'll make a profit. The buyer saves a nice chunk of cash, and a corporation that makes unimaginable profits every year will probably never notice. No single person is adversely affected by my actions. I've stolen things by request for people who wanted to give their kid a great birthday but were strapped for cash. Stay away from private, small, family owned, and it's all good. So this is a Robin Hood type guy. He's a guy who's saying, look, whatever I steal from a big corporation is drops of water in the ocean. Me stealing from Walmart is like going to the Pacific Ocean with a bucket and scooping out water. I can do it my whole life and nothing will change. And again, I understand the logic behind that. Realistically speaking, it honestly does not matter. I mean, it doesn't. It really doesn't matter at all. But still on principle, you're still taking from someone just because they have more, just because they have so much that they wouldn't even notice you stealing from them, that it wouldn't even affect them. It still doesn't justify it. It's kind of like if you had a farm, like if you had like a farm where, let's say you just had a bunch of apple trees, like just apple trees as far as the eye can see. But they all belong to you. You sell apples. That's how you make your money. And then a guy walks by. He takes one apple out of the tree. You know, it's not going to affect you. It really doesn't matter. But still, he stole it. And that's your goddamn apple that you have a right to. So, you know, it's still morally wrong, right? But it also does not fucking matter one bit. So take it as you will. So that was the thread of the day. And next we're going to answer, well, I always say we, like I got a whole team here. It's me, Friender, and Mitsuru, my assistant. So yeah, I'll be back to answer some questions next. Stay tuned. Oh yeah. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed that episode. As you know, at the very end, I always respond to some of the comments, and that's exactly what we're gonna do now. So let's get right into that. So this guy says this is a long one. On the Night Walk vlog, episode 4, Life as a 28-year-old virgin, he says, oh yeah, Punish Super Dragon, that's his name. He says, I wish I viewed the world. Oh, this is a long one. Buckle up. I wish I viewed the world from that viewpoint when I was young. My entire coming of age experience was characterized by a yearning for acceptance from my peers at the time, camaraderie from other guys, and acceptance and attraction from girls, both of which led me into countless situations where I inadvertently exposed my insecurities and weakness to everyone around. Countless times of making a fool out of myself in front of women and not focusing on what mattered, because what I thought mattered was what everyone else thought of me. I let myself get distracted and led astray from pursuing mindless pleasure, and one woman in particular in my early 20s. I was partying all the time, and I ended up dropping out of college. Meanwhile, I was obsessed with my now ex-girlfriend. I gave her the rawest love and devotion I had, more so than anything I had ever given to any pursuit or individual person. She ended up ditching my ass on the other side of the fucking mountains to go to school, and I still tried to keep it going. Driving hundreds of miles back and forth every month just to see her because I loved her. We broke up, and then when she came back, we still saw each other all the time and kept at it until after 3 years of a nonstop sympathon, she cut me off and left me in the dust prior to what turned into the toughest times of my life up to this point. So I'm gonna address the first part of this post because it's long as shit, and I don't want to lose track of my thoughts here. So we're gonna address this first part first. So just certain points that stand out. So he says, countless times of making a fool out of myself in front of women and not focusing on what mattered, because I thought what mattered was what everyone else thought of me. And I'm assuming by making a fool of himself in front of women is what I call throwing yourself into the rejection meat grinder. That's a new term I just came up with. You know how guys always say, go get rejected 1,000 times, approach women and do this, cold approach, all that shit. And you gotta make the approach, you gotta be a man, grab your balls. I'm assuming that's what he was doing. And yeah, man, just getting, unfortunately making a fool out of himself doing it. Let's see. He said, I got distracted and led astray by pursuing mindless pleasure in one woman in particular in my early 20s. You know, and I gotta say, man, I'm kind of guilty of this as well. Not the pursuing women part, but, you know, being led astray by mindless pleasures, you know, the junk food, porn, you know, shit posting and all of that. So I'm guilty of that as well. I'm glad that I managed to avoid the one-nighted simping thing for the most part. Never really got into partying or anything like that. But man, listen to what he says. I gave her the rawest love and devotion I had. Big mistake. You know, I remember this guy. I'll never forget this post, man. I might have mentioned it before, but I'll never forget it. He said something like, man, relationships now are all about, how did he say it? God, he said something like relationships now are about both people trying not to care so that they don't get hurt, or something like that. It's like it's both parts, like the man and the woman trying to see who can care the least so they don't get hurt. I'll never forget that shit. Well, I kind of forgot it since I forgot how you said it, but the idea, right? And so this is the mistake that this guy made. He gave her the rawest love and devotion. I'm not even going to say that it's a mistake, because it can work. You know, when you have two people giving raw love, when it's a 50-50 situation where they're both madly in love, it can work because you're both not out to hurt each other, or you're both not like, you're both selflessly in love. So it can work, but you got to be lucky enough to be in love with someone who loves you just as much. You both have to care an equal amount just about for that to work, because if one person cares less than the other, then the other person is he's in a position where he can be taken advantage of, or she can be taken advantage of. And I think that's why nowadays in dating, people are very hesitant to wear their hearts on their sleeves. And it's so unfortunate, man, that relationships have come down to this, that, you know, it's like men and women are at this like standoff where it's like neither one of them want to trust the other because they don't want to get hurt. And typically this happens after you get hurt. You get hurt, you love, and you love raw, and you love hard, and then you get hurt, and it's like you never want to feel that pain again. And so you put up these walls and these defenses, and man, and that's why people say who hurt you, because I mean, the fact is, what causes a lot of people, especially guys, to go like MGTOW and red pills, that they get hurt and they don't want to get hurt again. So they put up defenses, they put up walls, they they refuse to give their heart to anyone like they did before, and my whole thing on that though is just, I don't blame guys for taking that stance. Even myself, I mean, dude, my defenses are just, I got a force field and my heart is locked away in a vault in another dimension. Like, I'm not playing with these hoes for real. But it's unfortunate that that's where we are now, though. It's like, that's why I say you can't even blame these guys and these girls for taking that approach, because it's like, if the unfortunate thing about it is that if you love too hard, all it does is put you in a position to be taken advantage of. That's all it does, and that can ruin your whole life. It can send you down a chaotic emotional spiral like this guy has gone through. I mean, goddamn, what, hundreds of miles? Let's read the next part. Someone who ended up not giving a fuck about me. What a fool I am. And that's what happens. Like, when you love raw like that, it can end up being towards someone who really doesn't care about you. And especially as men, we have to be very careful as men. The thing that you always have to keep in mind as a man who isn't of high value, a man who doesn't have a lot of options, if your girlfriend is even halfway decent looking, her perspective is completely different from yours. You have to understand, you're the guy who climbed the mountain to get the prize. She's the princess at the top of the tower. And so you're laser focused on climbing that mountain. I'm climbing Mount Everest to get the girl. I got the girl. I treasure her so much. She's so important. How did I get this girl? Because that's all you can see. You don't have options. But every decent looking woman has options. So she's not seeing what you see. And that's what you have to always keep in mind as a man. At least as an average guy or below average guy. And even sometimes an above average guy. If you're not a guy with a lot of options, you don't see what she sees. You're at the base of the mountain, struggling, climbing, getting in shape, eating right, getting a job, getting a car, being more masculine. I got to act like this and talk like this and walk like this. I got to do this and that to get the girl. And then you finally get it and you treasure it because you work so hard to get it. But from her perspective, she's at the top of the mountain looking down at you. Him, her, him. Like, she's seeing all these guys doing the exact same thing that you're doing. She's not going to appreciate you the same way that you appreciate her because she has so many options. It's just the way that it is. It's just the way that it is. If I was in prison and I had one game, like if all I had was Dark Souls, bruh, after a year, I'm going to be the Dark Souls master. If that's all I have, I'm going to come out of prison speed running Dark Souls and SGDDQ. I hope I got that right. I'm going to be a Dark Souls playing motherfucker out of prison, bruh. Because that's all I got. I'm about to master that shit. But if I got Dark Souls, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Persona 5 Royal, Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3, Shenmue 1 and 2, Monster Hunter, Dragon Ball, bruh, I'm gonna end up beating every one of those games at least once. So I'm not gonna come out a master of any of those games. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what the female experience is like. They got way too many games. They might play a lot of them, but they're not going to master most of those games. They're just gonna, okay, I'm gonna play. They might not even beat all the ones that they play. If they play something and they don't really like it, they might quit early. But if that's all you have, you're gonna make that bitch work. You're gonna make that shit work. I'm telling you. You got that. Okay. All right. I kind of lost place where I was at. Okay. So he says, from then on, I still pursued mindless pleasure, completely lost. It's been a whirlwind of hookers and drugs. And while I don't regret doing the drugs, I regret the reasons that brought me to the point of dropping acid bi-weekly and smoking weed every single day. I regret most of the hookers. Only a couple encounters stand out as being good experiences. Wasted a fuck ton of money and got the clap. Oh no! Damn. And see, I just made the video on why I wouldn't buy pussy, why I wouldn't pay for pussy. And it's not just the money, but it's also the STD risk, You gotta understand, man, some of these girls, they're not all like top class, high class hookers, bro. A lot of these girls are fucking drug addicts. They're fucking nasty. A lot of these girls are fucking disgusting. They're not getting tested regularly. They're fucking random men so they can shoot up heroin and snort fentanyl and cocaine and shit, bro. Like a lot of these bitches are fucking nasty. It's a lot easier to get an STD than you think it is. I don't know what video he's linking there though. Did I click that? I don't think I clicked that. Whatever. So then he says, I'm now at a point where I'm starting to stand on my own 2 feet again, but it stings knowing how much time, effort, and money I've wasted. You are older than me by 4 years, but far wiser than me. Thanks for uploading this, Chad. I don't usually watch your content, not because I don't like it, but because it just gets lost in my hundreds of subscriptions. Hey, I totally understand. I still see people, I'm like, man, I need to check them out. It's been a while. I happened on this by chance, and I think it's because the powers that be needed me to hear this perspective. You are wealthier than you know. And see, he is also wise because he knows that I'm wealthier than I know. But I know. Oh man, trust me, I know how wealthy I am. I know how fortunate I am. I know how lucky I am. And that's why I have such a deep appreciation for life. That's why a lot of other shit just doesn't get to me, because I understand the potential that I have as a man, and I understand how lucky I am to be in the position that I am. You know, just the simple things, again, just food, shelter, family, friends, community, talent, handsome, good looks, you know, functioning legs, eyes. God damn it, man. I'm a billionaire, just not with the cash. Oh man, but man, I know all about though, just look, wasting time, effort. I do, trust me, I know about that too, just in my own way. You know, I was fortunate enough to realize to not get caught up in the web of, you know, modern day toxic women. I was lucky enough for that, but you know, I got my own vices. I got my own weaknesses and shit like that. Like, I've wasted too much time as well, so I'm not really much better than you. You know, I should be a lot further along in life than I am. So I've made a lot of mistakes too. It's just I've made different mistakes, you know, just wasting time, being lazy and shit like that. But it's good to hear that you're getting back on your feet and you're headed back. You're getting back on track. You know, I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm not really where I want to be either, you know, just as far as like, you know, I should be doing a lot more. I should be in a better position as well. So I don't want you to think like I'm this fucking guru who has it all figured out, because I really don't. You know, I'm shit. I'm trying to get steady just like you are. It's just I avoided that. I avoided that particular issue. 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. I appreciate that comment, man. So Heavy Weather says on the same video, your carefree attitude is cooler than a million bitches, Chad. I know. Man, you know, I see sometimes, this might sound a little random, but you know how guys say, they'll talk about women becoming like cat ladies and whatnot. And then I think about myself. I feel like I'm becoming a dog man with Friender. And I can kind of hear someone saying like, you're going to die a dog man. You know how they criticize women. You're going to die a cat lady. Someone's going to tell me you're going to die a dog man. I thought about that. You know, dude, I don't care what nobody say. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I would rather have one day with Friender. Like when Friender dies and then some spirit comes to me and says, you can have one more day with Friender, or all the pussy in the world. All the pussy you can imagine, all the girls, anything. Which do you want? I take that day with Friender. Friender alone is worth millions of bitches to me. That dog brings so much value and love to my life. And that's what I'm saying though, man. Like that's just part of the Chad Marco attitude. And it's not just what I have on the inside. It's motherfuckers like Friender in my life. I love that goddamn dog. Friender is worth a million vaginas to me. He is worth that much. Maybe not a billion. But I can pass on a million for Friender. Thanks for that comment. Soviet Dog says on the Chad Marco live stream test, yo, a rematch with subs would be awesome. I was playing Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Hey man, if anybody want to get it, you can get it. I'm a little rusty. I haven't been playing Dragon Ball Fighters that much. I've been playing, you know, Kakarot and Dark Souls lately. But I think next week I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get back in the lab and step my game up and start doing more Dragon Ball Fighters videos for my video game channel next week. So look forward to that. But hey, look, you want to get your ass whooped? Come this way. Thanks for that comment, Soviet dog. So Gateway 71 says on the OCM Botcast episode 15 New Year video, says Time Magazine published an article basically confirming it was rigged. They phrased it as fortifying by a well-funded cabal of powerful people, LMAO. I hate to say this, but I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. to even get him to make that comment. What was I talking about? Fortifying? Oh well. Was I talking about, maybe I was talking about some NBA finals or sports something that was rigged. That's what I'm assuming. I'm gonna look more into that though to figure out what he just confirmed for me. That's interesting as shit though. God damn. It probably was like some NBA shit, some football rigging or something. I'll look into it though. Thanks for that comment, Gateway 71. So Mega Dunspar says on the OCM Botcast, episode 15, New Year episode, you went to the library to handle your business stuff like you don't have a phone. And then Moonbase MGTOW says, can't look at hentai at the library, productive. Exactly. When I go to the library, I feel, now, I can focus at home, don't get me wrong. But when I go to the library, there's just no distraction. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? It's like a lot of the things that distract me at home just aren't there. Every now and then I might get on 4chan and go to like the animal board or something in the library, but I can't even go to like R9K because it's gonna be pictures of fucking titties and dicks and trannies, all kinds of shit on. Like I can't go to the places that I normally go to at the fucking library because it's gonna be porn everywhere. Goddamn GIF or something. I can't go to GIF at the library, so. At best, I can go to like the animal board, the news board or something like that, the safe for work boards. But it's just the process. Because when I go to the library, typically I'm running there. So there's exercise. Then I go to the library, I'm reading at least some articles. Then I run back home. So it's just that whole process. It's the perfect way to start my day. Usually I try to get up at noon. 12 p.m. Might straighten up a little bit. Depending, I might wake up, then go back to sleep for like 30 minutes. But my typical schedule is to wake up at noon. I get up, straighten up a little bit, then I warm up, which means I do like a light workout for about 30 minutes. Then I run or like jog to the library. I might jog all the way there if my legs are feeling good. If not, I might jog, stop. Go to the library. I stay there for about an hour or two, depending on what I'm trying to get done. And then I go back home. And that's usually how I start off my day during the weekdays. It's just a nice way to get the ball rolling. When you're neat, you don't have any responsibilities. It's good to go hard out the gate and have some momentum for the rest of the day. Because if I don't do something like that, then I'm likely just going to sit around bullshitting all day. So I got to start off. I got to work out. I got to get out the house. So Ghostface says on the Death Field with No Girlfriend song, finally 100K views. This is officially a hit, I guess. Congrats, Chad. I haven't even been paying attention. I know that's like my most viewed video though. So yeah, fucking congratulations. 100K, I'm doing big numbers. If only I could make a song that could rival that. I haven't been able to make a song that could get, man, Death Field with No Girlfriend was special though. I think just that particular title, that song, I think what really made it so popular is that it's something that a lot of people type in. It's a common meme, so I think it's inevitable for people to find it. Like I know one guy, he found the Kent song just because he was typing in Kent. So I guess if you want to get good numbers, you got to make songs with a name that's going to be searched for. But that's my defining song thus far. That's like what Crossroads is for Bone Thugs. But thanks for that comment, Ghostface. Chris Masters says Coach Greg Adams used to use the MGTOW flag and then he stopped. This was on the Super Straight episode of OCM Botcast. I think I mentioned Coach Greg Adams. But yeah, Coach Greg, CGA, I had just bought his book. I bought his book because I wanted to support the movement. I really like his channel. To me, he's one of the better, I guess what you could say, like red pill. And let's face it, he's like a pseudo MGTOW guy, right? He just doesn't wave the flag, but I don't either, so I don't really blame him for that. I think part of the problem with that is that when you start claiming MGTOW, one, you're going to alienate some people because there are a lot of people who just don't like MGTOW. And I think part of that is that a lot of guys, they can't resonate with the idea of completely staying away from women and sex. And so I think that's part of it. Because even I see a lot of like red pill guys and whatnot kind of toss little shit at MGTOW. And it's typically because of just the idea of just completely giving up on women. I think that part is what causes some people to just not really like MGTOW. Just because I think a lot of these guys, they perceive like you're giving up, like never give up. It's that, it's that I think that's part of it. They see it as giving up. Like you're quitting, like you're folding under the pressure, dive into the rejection meat grinder. Oh man. And I don't want to get too much into that, but I think that that's kind of a misconception. If that is in fact why they don't like MGTOW, again, because I think part of the problem is just this idea that we all need to be in a relationship. We all need to have sex. And I don't agree with that. And I think that's why definitely, MGTOW resonates with me a lot. It's just that, I don't feel the need to wave the MGTOW flag around, And also the problem with that is that then you put yourself in a position where people within MGTOW are gonna say, well, you're not a real MGTOW because of this and that. It's kind of like the whole robot thing. It's like, oh, you're not a real robot because you talked to a girl before, or you have friends, or you have a job. Like it's that you got to start dealing with that bullshit. Like, what's a real MGTOW? Like, and I don't want to get caught up in that bullshit. And again, like I just don't feel the need to, because I was MGTOW before MGTOW was even a thing, So I don't feel the need just all of a sudden wave the flag. But at the same time, I don't throw them under the bus because, it's I look at MGTOW, it's the Batman signal for guys like me. You don't have to claim it, you don't have to wave the flag, but I'm glad that the flag is there because guys who resonate with that philosophy and idea can come together under that banner and discuss this particular issue. But yeah, I don't blame Coach Greg Adams for not doing that. And I think, it's good to kind of create your own thing, right? It's like you look at someone like Anthony Spade and some of these other guys, they're running with the whole Sigma male thing instead of like alpha beta. Like, and that's genius. That's genius because come on, like seriously, how many guys have the potential to be a fucking alpha male? So when you start running with alpha and all that shit, you're setting the bar too high. But when you say something like Sigma, that's different. Like now that's something that's achievable. Sigma or Omega, you can sell that. It's hard to sell alpha. And then you look at Coach Greg Adams, like his thing is, free agent lifestyle. Again, very similar to MGTOW, but now he doesn't have to deal with any backlash that MGTOW is receiving. He just created his own, he created his own lane, and then people have to attack that rather than attaching himself to MGTOW and then being attacked alongside them, So I get it. I don't blame him for that. So yeah. So Ghostface says on the Chad Marco featuring God Nova Flame. Shout out to God Nova Flame. It's my best friend. Kodak Black Slated Freestyle produced by Osfaje. A feature and a produced by. Damn, you barely see these nowadays on your channel. Yeah, I don't do a lot of features. I should. I don't do a lot of prod by. I should. having to make all the beats myself, I think, it's my workload is ridiculous. And that's why I don't have a big output. I think moving forward, I'm going to look more into just, using other people's beats. I'm going to look around in the underground of SoundCloud and whatnot. There's a lot of beats just waiting to be used. So I'm going to start taking advantage of that more often now, moving into the future, and doing more collaborations. So yeah, thanks for that comment, Ghostface. And so Dark Wolverine says on the Nightwalk vlog, episode 5, why I would never buy sex. He says, paid sex has no value. I think this isn't the right phrasing. I think what you're really getting at is that money can't get you the genuine thing when it comes to human relation matters. And see, I said this. I said, how do I say it? Sex that has to be paid for has no value. And, of course, I had to point out that, of course, it has value because people are paying for sex. But I meant it, again, as a personal thing. Sex that has to be paid for has no value to me. I don't mean it as like a broad, like on a broad scale. Obviously, sex has value because people are paying for it. I'm saying if I have to pay for it, it has no value. Like once I'm at that point, then I don't even want it. But I see what he's saying. It's not possible to replicate the bonds and emotions of real human love, interests, or friendships, or familial ties just because someone handed you $40. This is certainly the case, and it also applies to sex, of course. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Some people might call me blue-pilled, a beta for saying this, but if I'm going to be with a girl, I want to be with a girl that is really attracted to me. If you don't not attracted to me, then I'm not gonna say fuck you, but I don't want you then. I'm not going to force you to be with me. I'm not going to pay you to be with me. How about you do you and I do me? He's like, fuck all that shit. Okay, so Trump, so Mega Dunspar says on the Super Straight OCM Botcast, Trump 2024. And then the film says he's not coming back. However, 2024 will probably be taken by a populist Republican simply because moderates will likely feel a great deal of discontent towards Biden. He's been in office for roughly 2 months now, and he's already signed a slew of executive orders, pushed gun control legislation through the House, resumed conflict in Syria, etc. Not to mention the media can't hide the fact that he's clearly not all the way there forever. Saying he's has dementia. I should watch more Biden videos. He's so boring. I don't care about him, so I haven't been watching what he's been doing. I should, because people always say like he's losing his mind, that he has Alzheimer's and shit. So I might have to watch a couple Biden videos to see if there's any truth to that. If I can see that in action. But yeah, I don't think Trump is coming back. I mean, he's already old as shit. He's old as fuck, dude. Goddamn, the amount of work he put in at his age and how demanding being a president is amazing. I just, other than him having to be voted in again, the miracle that was and would be, I think it's kind of like with boxing, right? When you take a long layoff, especially at an older age, like you can do that when you're young. You can take a year or two off or something. Like Ali did it. Mayweather did it. You can take 1, 2, 3 years. You can do that when you're young. But so much of being a successful boxer is predicated on you being active. And when you take time off like that, you lose your edge. You're not as sharp anymore. And I feel like even if Trump got elected again, it wouldn't be the same, because I'm sure he was amped up in his role as president. Whether he did a good job or not is up for debate, but I guarantee you he put the time in. I guarantee you, I can't imagine a guy like him not giving it his all to at least doing what he believed in, right? And to be, even if he won again, I don't think it would be the same Trump. Just because he was going 100 miles an hour and then crash, and then you got to build that back up at his age. I don't think I don't even think it would be worth it. He's not going to be the same, even if he did win. So Oshri222. This must be the same post too. At the Flim, he said, so what would you claim to do apart from LDAR? What is LDAR? Every day in modern society is hell. Even if life is a sandbox, to even have any fun, you have to have some sort of great skill, whether IQ, looks, with race included, status, and money. Even then, your options are limited. Buy a house, open a shitty business. And then Flim responds, I typed out this big, long, and completely innocent comment, but for some reason, YouTube flags it as offensive and keeps deleting it. I tried retyping and revising it for like 20 minutes, but to no avail. It basically just said, I'm a student, I like books and computers. I used to exercise regularly, and that you should stop worrying about money and go camping with your friends. So I'm kind of lost as to what their little discussion there was, but it seems like the moral of the story is, be a minimalist, have fun, enjoy life, no stress, baby. And so Cyclops Review says on my Night Walk vlog, episode 4, Life as a 28-year-old virgin, loving your voice and attitude to life. Isn't it dangerous walking at night? It is, but I mean, dude, let me tell you, I went to the store at like 9:30, right? The other night, I heard gunshots. But I'm already like halfway there, so like, and the gunshots were like far away too, so I'm like, well, whatever. So I keep going. Then I see a blue car driving beside me, right? And it's pulling, because I'm going to where like the stores are. And it's 9:30, so the grocery store is only going to be open for 30 more minutes. And I glance over at the blue car. It's a dusty, ashy looking car too. So that's strike 2. The gunshots for strike 1. I look at the car. That's strike. The dusty, ashy car, strike 2. 2 black dudes in the car, strike 3. I hate to say it, but two young looking black guys in the car. And it seemed like the guy in the passenger side was like, kind of like, it was hard to tell because I didn't have my glasses on, and I'm nearsighted as fuck. But I looked, and it kind of seemed like he was looking at me. But they keep going, and then they park in. God, this was fuck this night. I was on edge, man. They park in the parking lot of the grocery store. And so what crosses my mind is that I'm thinking, okay, gunshots. Maybe this was someone that was involved in that. And maybe they're looking for the person who shot at them. And I'm a young black guy walking around at night. Maybe they saw me and thought, is that maybe that's him. That was just in my paranoid mind. That's the thought that crossed my mind, but whatever. So they pull into the parking lot of the grocery store. But I'm like, fuck it, man. I'm going to the store. So I go into the store. I walk right past their car, just not giving a fuck. I'm in the grocery store, kind of worried about coming out. So I'm taking my time. I'm just hoping I don't get shot over a fucking mistaken identity or something. Like, these guys might think that I just shot at them and they looking for the nigga. I don't know, because look, mine just going crazy, bro. And to make it worse, I got $100 bill in this grocery store because I really came out to make change. And so I'm in line, and it's another nigga behind me. And so he see me hand the cashier this crisp $100 bill. He in there just buying a 40 ounce. And so I get all this change back. I only bought a couple things. I get about fucking $90 in change back. I don't know if he was paying attention or not. So just everything that happened up to that point, and now this, like, now I have a reason to be robbed. I'm on edge, dog. But I'm a young, fit guy, so I'm thinking, all right, I should at least be able to run or do something if something were to go down. So I leave the grocery store, but the way I leave, I left through the door I left out of, I wasn't able to see. I didn't even look to see if that blue car was still out there. I went around the back of the grocery store through the back alley. Like, this was a high risk move. Like, oh, go through the isolated, dark back alley where I'm vulnerable, or go out in the open where, you know, if they're expecting me to go that way, they'll see me. You know, I took a risk and went through the back alley. And so I go to the back alley. I'm feeling just relieved, right? Like, oh, I made it. Ain't nobody out here. Then I see the guy who I saw in the store who bought the 40 ounce coming out. Not like I come out through the back alley. He's coming out like just through like a little side way that you can get out of that little shopping center. So we basically like crossing paths now. And I'm like, oh, great. I might as well just ran out the front, like just ran out in the parking lot. But nothing happened. But I'm not gonna lie, dude. That night I was on edge. It was so many different things happening at once that just had me paranoid. The gunshots, the car, the way that guy looked at me, and then and really what made it suspicious was that the way they parked in the parking lot, that blue car. And all right, oh, I hit the pop filter, my bad. By the time they park, I'm just getting to the little shopping center, right? And it's not a long walk, but you gotta walk across the whole parking lot to get to that grocery store, because it's at the back end of the shopping center. And so from the point where I just turned the corner into the shopping center and start walking through the parking lot to go to the grocery store, they already parked. I get from point A to point B into the store and they haven't even gotten out the car yet. That's what made me so paranoid. If you just drive into the grocery store, it don't take you that long to get the fuck out the car and go in the store. That's why it made me feel like they were watching me, because they parked in the parking lot and never got out as far as what I saw. Maybe they got out after I went in the store, but the way it took, again, maybe I'm just paranoid on some Tupac shit. But that night, I was like, man, when I got home, and then on top of that, having $100 on me, I'm a fucking lick. I'm a walking lick. You know, $100 ain't much, but in the hood, that key for 20. So that night, though, man, I was like, oh God, I'm not going out at that time anytime soon for a while. Oh man, I'm gonna get my shopping done earlier. Oh damn. It was too many red flags that night. But to answer your question, yes, it's dangerous. But here's the thing though. When I do the night walk vlog, I do that at like 4, 5 in the morning. I thought, man, talking about hood shit got me paranoid. I thought I heard something outside. It was raining. It was the fucking rain. And then the friend was like, the second I opened the door, he just ran out. All right, whatever. Okay. So back to my point. When I do the night walk vlog, it's like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I'm not saying like it's perfectly safe at 4 or 5 in the morning, but the fact is, most people are asleep then. Even the thugs, even the gang bangers, even the drug dealers, the scum of our community are more than likely asleep during that time. Most people are asleep. Typically, the only people who are up at that hour are the people who got to get up super early to go to work. You see, like at 5 o'clock, that's when you start seeing cars like driving by more regularly. But I used to go running a lot early in the morning. Now I do so more in the afternoon. But I used to go early morning running a lot, like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I mean, for years, did it plenty of times. And nothing ever like rarely even ran into anyone. Every now and then you run into like some weirdo outside, some homeless dude. But again, it's like nothing ever happens. So when I do record it, I do it at like the safest time to do a night walk vlog, which is like really 4 in the morning, like 4 or 5 in the morning. I don't go out like 11, 12, no shit like that. Like that's peak get your ass shot hours. So I don't go out doing like 11, 12, all that shit. Nah. So I used to do that about 4 in the morning, and it's relatively safe then, just because there's not a lot of activity at that time. It's just like people getting ready for work. So CES Grim says on the, oh yeah, this is a post that I made. Who wants to do a song with me? People always ask, but I forget. Bro, I know I'm late as fuck, but I would love to see how Clown World and Milky Beat were made. I spit fire to those. That was to the, breakdown thing. When I made the post about breaking down certain beats. So yeah, CES Grim, I'm here, dog. Hit me up. You late as fuck. I'm late as fuck. That's how we get down. But look, I put my email in the description in pretty much every video. So just email me that you want to do a collaboration. If anybody want to do a collaboration, just email me, because I check my email a lot. Oh no, did I not? That's it? That's all the... I thought I had one more. Oh, that's it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. And I will return with more OCM Botcast later. I had a great time with you guys. It's time for me to get the fuck out of here. And so, yeah. Don't know what I'm going to do for next episode, but we'll figure it out. It should be out relatively soon. So, yeah, enjoy your lives and stay healthy and stay cool. And ja